shoot, I said that you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's the matter with King? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said that you claim?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. It seems like forever, right? I don't know. You take one day off. Well, I streamed on Friday, right? Thank you, everybody that showed up to Friday's switch to competitive gaming. And when I say competitive gaming, I mean, we can play some casual games. We can play some casual Street Fighter. We can play some casual Tekken. But I'm going to competitively beat your behind. Because I like to win. And I think that as gamers, that's a necessary instinct that we have within ourselves. I hate when I do this. I do apologize. If this is your first time finding the channel, please accept my invitation to become a subscriber. And if you so choose that you liked anything in this video, please become a member. Members are the lifeblood of the channel. It helps us continue to push everything forward to change one ponybot at a time. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. We're going to run it up on them bums. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. If you're a member or a subscriber, long time, you know what the hell I'm talking about. But we had so much news going on, and it just felt like I've been away from you guys for so long. And I don't like that. Saturday I did a live stream because I was doing stuff on the weekend. You know, my pops was up and, I got to run out and go hang out with him and figure out what's going on with him. And it always feels like I don't have enough time for the people that matter the most. And I'm trying to figure that part out. And also continue to do the stuff that I love, which is Xbox Frontline News, where we report on the industry as a whole. But we love Xbox because it's our preferred platform. And the news nowadays, from a lot of content creators, don't give Xbox and Microsoft a fair shake and expect Xbox and Microsoft to continue to do things the way the competition does. We're not the same. You're not like us. We're the XWO. That's Xbox World Order. Merch in stores right now. Go cop that. Show your fandom. And show these pony bots. It ain't over until we say it's over. And I didn't hear your mama sing. Let's get into these topics. Today's sponsor is brought to you by XboxGamerPicks.com. Today is the best day for you to get your best new gamer picks from XboxGamerPick.com. Go to XboxGamerPick.com and allow Graphic God to craft your new gamer pick, where the only limitation is your imagination. That's XboxGamerPicks.com, where you have total choice and freedom on how you look. Wow, The Legend of Zelda's Echo of Wisdom trailer details world and abilities. Well, the new trailer dropped, and one of the new Zelda games that was shown at the Nintendo Direct, the latest Nintendo Direct, showed a Legend of Zelda, I believe for the first time, actually has Zelda as the main character instead of Link. A lot of people all the time thinks that the main character in the past Zelda games was called Zelda. No, his name is Link. And the new trailer for The Legend of Zelda Echo of Wisdom details the regions that will appear in the game along with the new mechanics. Players will be able to visit Gerudo the Desert, Jabal Waters, and Elden Volcano, and Goron City in the upcoming puzzle game. Along with Zelda's Echo ability, she would also be able to use Bind and Reverse Bind. So the trailer actually goes through the traversal. It goes through more abilities as Bind, Reverse Bind, modes of transportation, horse, fast travel, and the regions in which this game will take place in. I think honestly that this game is a unique perspective on the traditional Zelda games. I mean, from the outset, it's untraditional. You know, I heard people say stupid things like woke Zelda and all this other stuff, and it has become tiresome, to say the least, to defend new ideas in the same space. I don't know about you, but I kind of like the art direction on the new Zelda, Echoes of the Wild. And I think this is the first time that we had Zelda as a playable character in a Zelda game, as a playable main character in a Zelda game. And I think that's cool. I think that's thinking out of the box. Because remember, how many times are you going to sell the same story to the same crowd and try to reskin it and put a different skin on it? Pause. You're playing Link right now if you're playing Breath of the Wild 2, I'm calling it, and Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword and all that other stuff. We are kind of at a part where let's shake it up. Let's try something different. Let's explore new territory. Let's try to gain new fans. And what I mean by gain new fans, I'm not telling you just because it's a female character, let's go get the female demographic. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is let's gain new fans, right? That's outside the same normal pool of fans that we have, or the same people that usually buy a Zelda game. Maybe this will bring in new fans or change your opinion on how you see the Zelda franchise as a hack slash action RPG that's a little bit light, open world, or a dungeon crawler. They've tried this stuff before. Let's explore this and see what they bring to the table that's different. Let's see. Well, it was a controversy, and I was going to say it was a minor controversy that transpired over the weekend. Over the weekend, I first encountered this controversy. All right, Finding Blade Zero Studio denies controversial Xbox comments. S-Game has distanced itself from some recent anti-Xbox comments attributed to one of its staffers. The company said it's committed to making its games as accessible as possible, added that it hasn't yet ruled out the possibility of Phantom Blade Zero Xbox port. A playable demo of Phantom Blade Zero will be featured at Gamescom in late August. As a person that actually got a chance to play the game at Summer Games Fest, and I did have the question to the developer that was on staff that day, and they did say that they are willing to put their game every and anywhere. I don't know what that means if you don't have a product available for Xbox, but they didn't say anything as inflammatory as the rumors were led you to believe. So I took a wait-see stance on what the company would say in light of recent rumors of the comments. And, you know, this is absolutely a topic that needs to be talked about because it lends credence to the Xbox tax that is attributed to Xbox. And I guess it's an Xbox bias at this point, right? if the rumors of said comments are true. S game. You would really think that you stepped in this S right now, right? Oh boy. I like Phantom Blade Zero. I like Phantom Blade Zero when I saw it at Summer Games Fest. I like Phantom Blade Zero when I got a chance to talk to the developer at Summer Game Fest in California. And, of course, Xbox Frontline News is going to ask you the hard questions on why you aren't launching on the Xbox platform. Not one time did I encounter the hypocritical, bias, racial, I guess, comment. Well, and you when I say racial, right? It's just gonna have to fall and stay on bias. But like Xbox is anything other than plastic, right? Makes no sense. But the comment like nobody's gonna make for Xbox and Xbox is dead or something to that effect. Nobody wants to make games for that. I love how pony bots and ponies try to make terrible news on a confirmed game that you have. Wildest thing, the game doesn't come out to 2026. A lot of things happen in this world from here to there. And best laid plans change overnight. There's a demo out or is coming out, and I got a chance to play the game. I thought the game looked magnificent. I loved everything about the game as far as the aesthetics go, the combat stuff looked dope. The problem with individuals expressing opinions, and let's say the guy didn't even express that opinion. You PlayStation dudes are really grasping for straws, noticing that Xbox is running it up, noticing that Xbox is moving in different directions, noticing that you are really not the market leader, noticing that it's really doom and gloom for you because you're capping
Stop the cap.
for third-party titles that hasn't even been confirmed for Xbox yet, and making up fake stories. S Game had to come out and said nobody said that, and they don't stand by anything of that nature. This is really such a non-story, but it becomes a story because of Xbox tax. It becomes a story because these poor begging ponies, they have no games, and they know that the Xbox has games, and they want to hold on to something to make something so exclusive to a point that it's not necessary anymore. Play your game. Oh, you can't because it doesn't come out to 2026. Bro, you don't even know how the hell you're going to pay your Wi-Fi bill to play your games. Being that the PlayStation is always on, right? And, oh my God, man. You dudes are really funny. This is disgusting. Hey, now. So Xbox Game Roadmap highlights major games coming in 2024 and 2025. Xbox has continued to secure major exclusives with its new acquisition and investments in the game development. The upcoming Xbox game releases for 2024 and 2025 include popular titles like Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Fable. Xbox Series X console sales are slowing down globally, prompting Microsoft to increase prices in challenging markets. Now, that kind of makes no sense. Maybe it's something to do with the economy in those regions where the dollar is weakest. I have absolutely no idea because I haven't looked at that region's projections and financials and what can attribute to a console that has already been shipped and manufactured to raise in price in a region that they are particularly challenged in. For that, I call cap. The upcoming Xbox games for 2024 announced first-party Xbox games. So World of Warcraft, if y'all didn't know, that's Xbox, that's August 26th. Age of Mythology, Retold, that's September. I'm actually Down for that. Aura, History Untold, September 24th. That's more look and see. Diablo, Vessel of the Hatred. Not really a fan of how Diablo is at the moment, so I probably won't be partaking in that. So far, I stay far away from this until it becomes part of Xbox itself, right? The console, right? This I'm definitely looking forward to. So maybe, yes. Maybe, no. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, yes. Flight Simulator, no. Indiana Jones Oracle of the Great Circle, or Indiana Jones with the Great Circle, or whatever. To be announced. What is it? Shattered Space, to be announced. Towerborn, to be announced. Avowed, 2025. South of Midnight, 2025. Doom, 2025. Fable, 2025. And more. That's wild. If you look at the 2025 listing, I'm gonna keep a buck with you. That kind of look weak for 2024. And we have to attribute what would have been a strong showing with Avowed paired with these two. And, some dude's Vessel of the Hatred kind of works. This means a lot to me. And Towerborn means somewhat to me. We got to talk about this topic because this is something that, as far as a roadmap goes, Microsoft really never had this issue. Now they do. Everybody asks for a roadmap from Xbox, and a lot of times when you're getting these roadmaps, some games on that list does not fit your criteria of what you consider hardcore, what you consider games that you're looking forward to, or what you consider games that are must see, must play, must have, right? But when you become a platform and the way you distribute your games, the way you market your games, the way games is structured in placing games here and there, and your games are varied, right? You can tell there's a complete distinct difference between the Xbox gamer, the PlayStation gamer, and the Nintendo gamer. And you can also say that there's a difference in philosophies on the platforms. And I can hear the port begging ponies yell out stupid stuff like, yeah, we prioritize quality. No, you prioritize doing the same thing, expecting different results. And when you're touting stuff as peak sales numbers on a game that is $1 million and that's exclusive, that is piss poor for you. You're better than that. That should not ever be the case, but it is the case for you. Now, Xbox portfolio is a little bit more diverse, not even a little bit more. I'm just being facetious when I said this. It's a lot more diverse than the PlayStation's lineup. The PlayStation lineup consistently looks the same. Single player, story driven narrative, over the shoulder, boulder holder, sad dad, walker. Where Xbox itself, it's expected to do more, be better, and have more than the PlayStation offering. PlayStation doesn't have the responsibility of pushing the industry forward. PlayStation rocks and moves off of nostalgia and have you believe that the same thing over and over again is going to change the marketplace. Where Xbox is expected to give you high quality graphics, a good story, and a very good multiplayer. Where PlayStation is just, they have to show up. Expectations are different when you're the true market leader and a difference maker in the space. I get it. The XWO gets it. Get on board. Wake up. You've been bamboozled, lied to, led astray, and it's about the time the jig is up. A new Darksiders game is in development. A new Darksiders game is in the works, teased with this mysterious trailer. The franchise follows the Four Horsemen in a post-apocalyptic tales with potential sequel to Darksiders 3 on the horizon. Speculation swells around the upcoming game, with fans divided on wanting a solo Strife story or a full Four Horsemen sequel. I don't know, man. I'll probably say something like, I think it should be a full Four Horsemen sequel. Nordic just announced a new Darksiders game in development. While it's short and cryptic tale, it doesn't reveal much. Players can look forward to a new entry to the Darksiders franchise, which will be available on PlayStation 5. I don't even think that game will be exclusive. It's not that serious. And wow, this is how stupidity starts and falls all over the place. This is what I'm talking about. I guess today's show is about Xbox tax. These stupid idiots did it again. I's like a Darksiders. You's like a Darksiders. Who wouldn't you like to be a Darksiders too? New Darksiders games coming through, boo. New Darksiders game coming through, boo. I am enthusiastic about the prospect of a new Darksiders game coming through. I like Darksiders 1. I like War. Strife was cool. When is it coming out? It's in development, right? I can't wait. Can't wait, right? I'm a Jets fan, so what? It is what it is. Over the weekend, if you saw me on Iron Lord's podcast, Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I was the host this weekend because Lord Cognito needed some much needed time off. And in doing so, I wasn't able to be my most rambunctious self when it came to certain topics, but I had to be very insightful when it came to topics that meant the most to me. And Game Informer shuts down, thousands of articles lost. Game Informer closes after 33 years, leaving many in shock. Owner GameStop made a decision to shut the publication down. Fans expressed appreciation for Game Informer's legacy, hoping that those affected will find new opportunities in the industry. 33 years of business. Launching in 1991. Beginning as a magazine distributed by games retailer Funko Land, GameStop brought the company and absorbed Game Informer in to 2000. And by the 2010, the magazine was recognized as the 5th largest in the United States, beating out giants like Time Magazine and Sports Illustrated. I mean, that goes a long way because we were still lurking in the shadows and we still wasn't accepted as the best form of entertainment as a video game collective. And this magazine managed to claw its way to the top despite us still operating in the shadows. To see it go, and you no longer can access anything. There's no digital footprint. There's nothing left for you to scour. It's just gone. It's the wildest thing in the sense that it's just gone like it never existed. Game Informer shuts down, and it sucks so bad that they are no longer in business. But as far as print media goes, man, listen, they tried so many different things to stay relevant, to stay in the know by starting off with Funko Land and Funko Land getting purchased to GameStop and GameStop helping them have an attach rate that made them number one in the space as a magazine about gaming. That's unheard of. That's something that you guys can hang your hat on. Listen, this industry is folding in upon us as print media, and y'all went digital. Y'all did things. You had videos. You had so many different ways to interact. We are dealing with a new gamer that doesn't read in the same manner that we did. I'm a dinosaur when it comes to this space. I was there when EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, was there. Game Fan, Game Pro, all Game Informer, all the magazines were there, right? And the official Xbox game magazine, the PlayStation magazine, and they came with demo discs. It was different ways to get you into the space of reading so they can sell you this material. That material, the newsstands was all over the place. Magazine stands was all over the place. as a person that has deals with, and is thoroughly entrenched in print media, I understand the metrics. We are a dying breed, and one by one we will be picked off, and it sucks and it's sad. But I do appreciate everything that Game Informer brought to the space. And you're gone, but you're never forgotten. The sad part about it is all this stuff that was online is no longer available. You will not be able to see that stuff unless you have the magazines, and the videos aren't there. So I salute you, soldier. You remained a Spartan until the end, and you fought to the very bitter end. But keep your eye on GameStop, because they're next. As we move closer and closer to a completely all digital gaming space that is seeing streaming games as a more realistic choice, there isn't any room for resold games. And GameStop has gotten over on the backs of gamers for years. You have stole from us, and the chickens are coming home to roost. Xbox is going to Gamescom, and Gamescom is never going to be the same. Xbox promises an exciting booth at Gamescom 2024 with over 50 games, including Star Wars Outlaws and Stalker 2. With PlayStation and Nintendo absent, that means if you don't know how to read or you can't comprehend, not there. Xbox could stand out at Gamescom, offering fans a hands-on experience with upcoming titles. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this here. These are the games that Xbox will be talking about and showing. Holy crap. It's about to get ill. Xbox is going to Gamescom. This is going to be the craziest, littest, mind-blowing Gamescom, because if you're looking at all those games that they had at the June show, the summer showcase, the sizzling, bizzling, the all-time winning Xbox, this is the reason why XWO is made. This is the reason why Xbox World Order is a thing. This is the reason why we are in the driver's seat as gamers, as the group that pushes the industry forward. Yeah, they can copy. They're sloppy. Their tactics can't work. You see what happened when they try to emulate what we create when we went to the space and purchased ABK at a smooth 70 billy, and they ran out with a knee-jerk reaction and got Sony, and I thought Sony could bail them out of their game of services dilemma, because they do not have multiplayer as a focal point of making money in the company. Different philosophies. Jim tried to fix it with no avail, and Sony couldn't compete. But this Gamescom is going to show you who's the true market leader. Nintendo won't have a presence as a developer on the floor. They have a presence in some weird way as an advertiser for something else or something like that. Sony's not there at all, because they take you for granted, but they don't have anything. So why show up? Why spend money that you don't have, right? Because you have absolutely zero operating costs, and you already told your populace that they're having no games this year. except for your third-party offerings and deals that you did behind closed doors to block Xbox from having those games. But it didn't work. Because not in your greatest lifetime could you have ever fathomed the fact that Xbox would get that ABK deal done with all the blocking, lying, cheating, swindling moves you tried to create. You and the FTC. Now Jim is out the door in the wind once the ABK deal goes through. I think Jim did the most detriment to that company, purchasing Bungie, putting them in charge of games as a service, and Bungie went through sabotaging everything. COG put it well. You killed yourself. There was no help. We didn't have to do it. We needed you so we can sell our games to you so we could bleed you dry. You have no games, you port beggars. All right, so my man Dustin LeGuire gets a ton of hate. And he had a pretty logical question. Amazon Fire TVs versus Samsung. Could this replace the Xbox? And should Xbox stop making consoles and all this other stuff? And one man's opinion and one man's test bed in which he came to a conclusion on his findings and his opinions on the market as he sees it should not be a death sentence or an indictment as his fandom to the Xbox platform. Now, I've said plenty of times that I believe that Dustin is too clean to be sullied with his association with IGN. And I got something more revealing on this topic when we talk about it. That should give you a little bit more insight on my opinion of Dustin himself, and let me know if you guys share that opinion. Apparently, this is killing people all across America. This branding, this marketing strategy from Microsoft. Some people feel that this is a slap in the face to the hardcore gamer. Some people feel that one division is ishing on another division within the same household at Microsoft. You don't need a console to play Xbox. There's no doubt that one of the biggest and highest grossing forms of entertainment on the planet right now is the video game industry, which continues to grow from strength to strength with new innovative technology that allows you to play wherever you are, not just at home on the couch. PlayStation have made some wave with an impressive portal device that connects and streams your consoles, while Xbox has been working on perfecting xCloud services and gaming, essentially taking the console out of the picture altogether. Cloud gaming is a tricky beast. It's also driven by the quality of your connection, and here in Australia, we have a pretty poor internet speeds. Of course, you're salty. I understand. Here's a pillow for you to rest your head. Here's some wipies for you to cry. Unless you're willing to pay a crazy amount of money for what you call super fast, I'm a gamer. Anyway, that I can game at the highest fidelity. You're never going to hear me cry, because this is a hobby and a luxury and not a necessity or a mandate. But I digress. And what the rest of the globe calls standard, it's one of the reasons that Google's Stadia device failed. I'm glad you said one of the reasons, because if you'd have said the reason, I would have had to yell out fraud, because business model plays a huge amount in this space. It's been hard to recommend in the past, but the reality is it's getting better. You know, this opinion piece goes into the same thing as the Destin piece and what they view what Microsoft is trying to do with the Amazon Fire Stick and the Samsung television. Those things aren't made for you. But also, I just want to say what might not be made for you is gaming. Because if you're complaining about paying for internet at a high speed, I think you might need a new hobby. I see you guys going at Dustin LeGuire all the time, and I'm gonna get something off of my chest. He's the only person that I really watch at IGN, to be honest with you. And I honestly I like his character. And when I say his character, I mean his self, like what he exudes as a person, as a human being, as a man. He has never struck me as dishonest and disingenuous. Now, we can have thoughts about the company that he works for. We can have thoughts about the company that he keeps because he works for the company. But that doesn't mean that he shares their opinion. Yeah, he can hear their opinion. And sometimes hearing other people's opinion in the workplace can help you think the same. I don't believe that he does. But he does raise valid questions when Microsoft's own marketing team comes out and says, you don't need an Xbox console. And I know that ruffled a lot of you dudes' feathers. But I want you to understand a couple of things, right? When you are operating in the same pool of these consumers, and Jim told you were never enough, right? So Jim can tell you you're never enough. But you're sitting here fighting, yelling out, console sales, console sales, console sales. But you never reach the heights of the true market leader, which is Nintendo, when it comes to console sales, console sales, console sales. Effortlessly, Nintendo sells X amount of units. Let's say it's 130, and Sony effortlessly sells 110. Microsoft effortlessly sells 80. And maybe you swap in between those three. A million here, a million there, back and forth, whatever. But you're still operating in the same pool, which has a ceiling. Microsoft decided to test their luck with going day and day, doing Game Pass and stuff like that, and going to the PC to try to garner some type of new gamer. And with that, they hit a ceiling because you have Steam and you have different options. And the PC game is a little bit more fickle, and that's a little bit different nut to crack. Pause. But then you have an untapped revenue when it comes to cloud streaming. And in its infancy, yes, I've been an on-live tester. I've been that dude. I've NVIDIA now. I've done all that stuff. Because I've purchased every NVIDIA shield. And I'm a believer in tech. I'm a believer in growth in the space, and so is Microsoft. Microsoft understands to remove the barrier of entry, you might have to remove the console. Now, Dustin's opinion of that, in a nutshell, is not wrong. Because you look at Microsoft and you say, hey, if you're getting the short end of the stick when it comes to hardware, why continue to do it? Because I believe Microsoft does value you guys as hardcore dudes and myself, with lusting after the casual. So you do put streaming services in televisions with the deal with Samsung. Why wouldn't you? And you parlay that over to phones, so you can actually put on a backbone device to play games on the go with your handhelds. You do want to reach the 3 billion. You do want to get outside of your same dating pool and date somebody different. So you do a deal with Amazon Fire Stick. And you reduce the barrier of entry to a mere $50, $60. At the same time, inflating Game Pass because Game Pass is what's necessary. And cloud streaming has come a long, long way. Is it perfect? No. But is it passable? Yes. Will it ever supplant native gaming? The future is not determined yet, but Xbox and Microsoft is betting heavily in one direction. And woe is he, the day that there is no perceived latency. That is the day that Xbox defeats everyone, because they will be so far entrenched in that area. The possibility of catch up and to become a competitor is 0 to none. And the only reason, and Stadia had superior tech, the only reason why Stadia wasn't viable, because their business model sucked. All right, my shoppers, my dealers, my consumers, my individuals that's looking to save that buck, we're going to save that money. Like the song says, we gonna save that shmoney. No, Woot doesn't have the best Xbox Game Pass Ultimate deal to avoid the price hike. I know we can save more. Amazon Woot is currently running a pretty good Xbox Game Pass Ultimate deal, but still not the best deal available. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is an awesome subscription service, yada, yada, yada. All right, so, but the real best deal on Microsoft flagship subscription is somewhere else, letting you score 3 months of Xbox Ultimate Game Pass at the time for just $29.39 at CD Keys. CD Keys is out here saving you the bucks, baby. I want to know if you've maxed out your Game Pass subscription allotment that you're able to purchase and stack during this whole period of time before the ultimate rise in price in September. You thought I thought Arrow to Acrobat will come out? Like a new Arrow to Acrobat, up-resed and all this. Bro, that's a throwback to when you needed a mascot in order to have your console do something, right? But this was a third-party mascot that was available everywhere. That's when mascot games was the thing, and you needed to have the next catchy mascot in order to get your stuff to pop. And this is one of those mascots that wasn't tied to a console specifically, like a Mario or Crash Bandicoot, which Xbox now owns. Your port beggars, he's home. Shout out to Game Pass getting the Insane Trilogy inside Game Pass this August. You're mad. We got your boo. Can't have her back. But yeah. Mario, Sonic, Arrow to Acrobat came out at a time when that was the norm. Where that's where companies went, and that was the trend. It's funny seeing it back, bro. Microsoft and Activision have formed a new team within Blizzard to work on smaller games based on existing IPs. Employees from King and other parts of Activision have formed a new team within Blizzard umbrella. Over the past few weeks, many King employees have switched their LinkedIn profiles from King to Blizzard. We can reveal that Microsoft and Activision have formed a new smaller team within Blizzard comprised of King and various other employees to work on smaller titles based on existing Blizzard franchises like Overwatch, Warcraft, StarCraft, and beyond. Microsoft is keen to leverage its huge back catalog of franchises it acquired with its Activision Blizzard King purchase previous years. 4 years to be exact. Over the past few weeks, various employees from Microsoft King subsidiary has updated their LinkedIn profiles. And this isn't new information. Microsoft has been shuffling and reshuffling, but we're going to talk about Microsoft's terrible dilemma on having too much and too little time. Microsoft forming different studios within their chambers makes a whole lot of sense, because you have a whole bunch of staff, and you guys really think that big tech and Microsoft would love to let people go. No, they would like to repurpose individuals, find their talents. I told you there's an AI algorithm that works within the company to evaluate you to see where you're best properly utilized. Now, if you're redundant, your job is redundant in some spaces. But if you're productive and you have a viability that can help the company in some form or fashion, then you'll be placed into different things. So a lot of people that were at the subsidiary, which is King, is now being placed into this new studio, which will work on existing IPs that are small in AA scope. I believe also that stuff looks at the whole portfolio and the whole catalog of Microsoft, and some games that you view as AAA might be AA, and they will work on existing IPs. I want you to take your brain and put your brain into this space so you can see exactly that Microsoft is changing how they operate. You got to remember, it wasn't too long ago where they just had a couple of studios, and a couple of studios were retreading, redoing, and Microsoft couldn't get a foothold to beat Sony and Nintendo at their game, because Nintendo and Sony game was quality and their internal studios. So Microsoft did something, and overnight everything changed. The world is different. Everything is different. You're looking at the beginnings of the XWO. That's Xbox World Order. You're looking at the change of the industry. You're having a peek inside the genesis, if you will, of change. The change that will form the industry in a way that it will be unrecognizable. The hardcore notices they're not as essential as they thought. And it's always been that way. The casual has always moved the needle. If you don't realize that, just look at the reason why we're tethered to old consoles. Because the casual hasn't moved on from the games that haven't just been available on the new consoles. That's why growth in hardware stagnated to the point that everyone is down, because the necessity to move to the next generation isn't there. And there hasn't been a game to produce that FOMO to make you migrate over. Yeah, college football done something to have some migrate over, but the overall consensus is there hasn't been that one game yet. And Grand Theft Auto Messiah is being looked at as the one. I feel that it's going to change. The XWO is here to stay. But this is the part in the video where I'm going to tell you to like, follow, and subscribe. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it on the new spaces that I'm going to be running. I'm setting it up that I will be doing the spaces sometime during the week or the weekend, where it will be Xbox versus PlayStation. Nintendo, you're welcome to come sit down and have a conversation. Where I, the General, Lord King David, leader of the XWO, leader of Xbox Frontline News, will be taking on some of your dimmest and dullest over at the Pony Stadium, and we will debate the viability of each other in the marketplace and talk about current topics while giving the floor to a lot of our combatants so they can do verbal battle about the industry as a whole and their place in it. I will continue to push this industry forward. I will continue to keep the boot on Kong's neck. And I will continue to be the champion of the people, pushing for choice and your voice. I'm like Xbox. I'm like Microsoft. If I don't succeed in this area, I'm going to find a way to get that new consumer. I want 3 billion. And as far as me looking at somebody else and looking at whatever they're doing, bro, I'm too focused on what I'm doing to ever look over at somebody else mentioning my name, mentioning my podcast, mentioning my show. I'm too busy winning, but I'm glad they're taking notice. So I'll throw that logo around those individuals taking notice on me. And I'm going to tell you, try to play the Game Pass.